Hello guys. Sorry for the wait. I know it took me a little bit to get the audio to turn that thing off cuz on the stream I hear a lot of ringing of the music. I have no idea what I'm doing with that music. I try to put some like decent music, but it's not working for my the OBS. I might have to look for more like YouTube videos or something because I have no clue. I have no clue what's going on with that. But I hope the rest of the audio works and you guys can hear me clearly without any issues. And so let's go ahead and continue. Today's episode 24 of the stocks. We're gonna do a lot. I mean, the day started all jacked up. Well, since yesterday, because yesterday I decided to do some adjustments on my Streams lab, and all of a sudden, when I signed in to an account that I had with them, it erased everything that I had of my whole setup. And so I got so upset. I was like, man, like how I'm gonna put this together? I don't remember how I did it the last time. And so I went ahead and tried for a couple hours and I couldn't figure it out. And until I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and try out the OBS app. I'll download it and figure it out. Maybe through doing that it works. And so I was able to do something new, with the setup that I have right now. And so, it looks a little bit more sharper than the Streams Lab. I thought for a minute Streams Lab was really good compared to like OBS, but OBS is like really really good in terms of everything, all the intricacies. And so today I started a little bit late because I went to the dentist and like they numbed me from like here all the way down here. Like I couldn't even say anything. Like I was I couldn't talk really. I was messed up there. But finally we here. I could talk. I could speak a little bit better, and we could continue with the stocks and everything like that. I hope everyone is doing good. Whoever's watching, thank you for coming and showing support. Out, anybody out there that needs support as well, let me know because I'm there, trying to share posts from different kind of streamers, just showing support and everything, as best as I can because the time lets me do that. My time at this moment, probably in a couple more months, I'm gonna be really really busy, but for now the time is still, I'm really open to do a lot of stuff, and so that's what we this community is all about, to helping people. And so usually every morning I go ahead and see who's connected, who's streaming and everything. And so I try to do as best as I can to share their stuff on social media and stuff like that. So if you guys could, help me out with that and hit the like, the share, and the follow, I would appreciate it very much. That will help my channel get out there and get known. And so let's go ahead and start with the stream. um let's see if I could cuz I had the like the what do you call that, the chat. It was working the other day. Somehow I had it to work, but this time it's not working. I don't know why, what is going on. So I kind of like have the chat all blocked here. I don't know what happened there, but I could see it on my OBS. I was able to do a new setup on my OBS, so I could see the chat pull out through here. So um eventually I'm gonna do a couple more tests and everything. So not now, but because we're doing the stream and everything. But in case you guys I have a bad audio or something like that right now, and you guys can't either hear me, or the sound is terrible, just let me know so I could put that on the notes, and have that on the side to kind of like do tests and stuff like that. But for the meantime, let's go ahead and start off today. um let's see, what was the one that we were gonna go check? So it's today is the 12th, 2026. That's the first thing we're gonna do. It's 4:51 p.m. Pacific time. So let's do that. PM Pacific time. And so this right here, for those that are new and never seen this before, this is my criteria. This is what I use for, on a daily to kind of memorize what I have to do, take the, have rules and steps that I have to follow, in order to find the stocks that I need to do, to find. And so this is kind of what we do. We we have a certain amount of have a criteria that we use, for low price stocks. And so what I mean by low price stocks, I mean like anything under $20 per share. That's kind of what we concentrate in, based on the market cap, based on the flow, based on the news, based on the, what the chart is telling me, and using technical analysis. That's kind of how we put everything together to kind of filter out what we want to see on the stock, and if the stock has any opportunities for that day. And so hopefully you guys could hear me. There's no issues. But in case of anything, just hit the comment section and say, "Hey, man, it was not working, the audio, or something," and I could fix it. I could try to fix it. So this is the criteria, and this is for pre-market, market open. Percentage change, it has to be above 20. You know, only for the pre-market and market open, not for the closing day. And so this is what I said. What's the price? Anything under 20 or over $1 per share. And so also I want to focus on price that had either started multi-day, multi-week, or multi-month, or even multi-year price. We call it breakouts as well, that has broken a certain previous price. It broken out, and so these stocks could either break out multiple years, multiple months. That will be like the best out of the best. But in this case, anything can happen in the market. You could either see a multi-day breakout happen, and that thing could go either multi-month or multi-year high, as high as they want to go. Same thing the opposite. It could go as low as it want to go. And so those are the things you gotta, figure a balance of seeing what you like and what you don't like. And so the next thing we want to check is the news. That's the following thing we want to check. And so I don't know if you guys could see my screen. Let me see. I think I messed up here. Let me go to the okay, so you guys can't see what I'm seeing. Let me go ahead and go to the third point here, and let's turn on the thing here before we start talking a little bit. And I guess we fixed it. Okay, so we fixed it now. So now you guys can see what I'm seeing. And so this is the criteria. I'm not gonna go through with it. You guys could like hit the rewind and hit back the video after the stream or something, and you guys could hear exactly what I said about the screen, the criteria and everything. But this is kind of what I look for every day. On all my streams I say the same thing, and this is kind of like helping you remember what you have to look for. In terms of what we're concentrated to find, which is the low price stocks, that if that's something that you like finding. And so we also want to focus on the news. The news could come out in different ways. It could come out in the main page of where you're trading, which is either built into the software, or it could be in the social media platforms like X, Facebook, all those panels. And so at this moment, also you want to focus on the float. The float is the support of the stock. The stock market is supply and demand, and based on supply and demand, that's how price takes a route, either through the to the upside or to the downside, depending on the supply and demand. And so those are things to understand, in the markets, and in everything pretty much. If you go to a store, it's the same thing, based on supply and demand. That's how you're gonna see the prices. If that's something that people like, if the product that is being sold a lot is what people like to buy, then if the company doesn't have a lot of supply, then they're gonna bump up the price to sell those. And the more money they could have to make more of that same product, the better it is for them. That's how they grow. That's how most of companies grow nowadays. you know some of them borrow money, and so that's some way of doing things, in order to invest in products and as well. um but in this case, that's more like fundamental. What we're focusing on is, like the basic technical analysis, in terms of like supply and demand. But to check like more debt in depth of the company, whether it's making money or not, or whether it's losing, and whether they had investors here and there, shareholders and all that stuff. That's more fundamental. You don't want to focus on that. You can focus on it if you know how to read the balance sheets and everything. And you could like either, everything at the end of the day is your personal preference. You could put those two things together and make good decisions, in terms of trading. But in these type of stocks that we're watching right now, they don't have good financials. Like the majority of them don't have great financials, and most of them are gonna get delisted eventually. They might get delisted. Not everyone, but a great majority has a possibility to get delisted out of the market. Because of their financials, they can keep the company running. And so they're not making any profits. Some of them are making profits, but they have their own different motives. And so you have to pay attention to those little things like that. But that's more fundamental. But you guys could pretty much do whatever that you guys feel comfortable doing. If it works for you guys, then great. That's something extra. But in this case, we're gonna focus on those criterias. Also, we focus on the demand, which is the volume. We look at the volume. Why we look at the volume? Because if there's not enough volume trading in the stock, then it's hard for us to get in, get out, and and those transactions, it's really hard, if there's not much demand for the stock, if the stock is not trading actively. And so also we want to focus on the history of the chart, of that stock. Does it has history of running? Has it ran before? And so those are little things like that you have to, like, keep in mind. And so on this other one is usually for the market close. Like right now the market is closed, so we focus on almost the same criteria. The only thing we took out was the percentage change. We no longer focus on the percentage change, because once the market is closed, there's no activity in the percentage change. There's nothing that you could predict out of that. And so those are the things that you should check, this criteria. Then we're gonna go to the crypto eventually, and scan these. This right here is more for the X platform to find news of the stock and everything. This is how you input the information. You put the dollar sign and the ticker symbol right next to it, and then you press enter, and you see the information, if there's any kind of information about the stock that you're looking at. And so if you want to go more technical and see specific dates just to analyze, then you could do that as well, and input the dates, just like you see, just as you see it here, you know, from old to from oldest, well, from recent to oldest. Yeah, until is now, like recent day, like today, right? 2020, it will be 2026. And then over here will be 12, and over here will be, oh, wait a minute, it will be 1 here for January, and then over here will be 12. And then over here, since you put here 2020, you could put 2025 or put 2026, and then put 1 here for month, and then you put another 1 for the, for the start of the month, you know. So it's from recent to old, just like I wrote here. See? And so you input that, and you can find the news, on the social media there, and so that's another key thing to see. And so as you can see here, we wrote on the 9th, we wrote for GP. I think that was Friday, if I'm not mistaken, unless there was no holiday on Friday. There's a holiday coming up though on next Monday. So the market is going to be closed, and so that's a good thing to see, and so a good thing to know actually. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to check GP and see how it went. We had said here that had a good, it was the only stock that we had here listed. um we said had a good price, had good volume, had low float, had news that they receive a $5 million award, you know. And so it doesn't have a great overall chart. I mean, just like I said, the majority of these stocks don't have good overall charts. However, they do have its moments, where they, has some type of history of running, either spiking one day or either running a couple days, you know. So those things are good to have on, written down, and so let's go ahead and check that room right now. So let's take the note off and let's go straight to the web. And so as you can see here, I use Finviz for the screening, but in this case we're gonna go ahead and check the charts. So this is the chart that I check, to analyze, not for my personal self. This is usually for you guys. I used to use this one to learn, but now I'm gonna use it to teach you guys, on how to read the charts and everything, and certain things that I could show you guys, and so and to analyze the stock. But usually my platform is Webull. That's what I do everything, even trading. I use Webull. So this is kind of what I'm using right now. And so let's go to the stock GP. That's the one we were looking at. And it's a stock, and so it's by Nasdaq. And so this is the stock that we were talking about. So today, try to test. I mean, if you would have bought it here, you would have got a little profit here. You would have got out at this point, but you wouldn't hold on the weekend on a stock that has closed below the VWAP line. That's insane. I wouldn't recommend nobody to do that. Now, if it was here near the highs and it closed strong above the VWAP, then that's a good thing, a good thing to see whether you could hold it for till Monday. Um and that's way more better strategy than you know playing this play. That the stock price didn't finish strong and it closed below the VWAP, and so those are things that you should analyze. But right, today it failed to test these highs, and it's been running under the VWAP all day. It only had its moments here midday, and if it didn't do anything, I mean, there was not much activity going on. But the volume is right at the average, which is not great. Today didn't had no news that I could see here. Green power, or see, no news, zero news, and so this consolidated. However, it didn't break these support levels, so that's a good thing in a way. Now, if people were watching this and now they're attracted because the price is consolidated, then it's a good one to watch to see if it's gonna break out these resistance levels here. But in the meantime, the distance between this right here and the resistance line is a lot. So it's not too much, but it's a great distance. So it needs a ton of volume, and it needs to attract a lot of buyers in order to get here. And the only way that this stock could do that is with some type of news, and some social media, hype and stuff like that. That's the only way that this stock could push this up here. You know, if they launch a new product or whatever, or they have a contract news, or something big, some earnings or whatever, that would make this price go up. And it's only gonna go up if people buy it, and so that's kind of what you have to see. But I'm not gonna have it on the list because no activity, no news, no nothing. Unless it show up on the charts, then on the scanner, then that's the only way I'm gonna be focusing on it. But in this case, um, we don't have nothing right now, and so let's go ahead and scan for new stocks today. So let's go back, and we're at the Finviz web. So this is the main site here for the Finviz. And so as you can see here, um, you know, let me see if you guys can see clearly. Oh, I think did I moved it out of place? Sorry about that, guys. Let me fix this really quick. I moved this out of place here. Window capture. Okay, so let's fix this. Boom. Okay. So now you guys can see clearly now. Okay. So we fixed that. And so, eventually I'm gonna have to do more tests here and there. So not today, but while the stream is off, I'll try to organize everything like I had it, and yeah, I mean we run through troubleshooting, that's normal, but you know um this is something that happened. I couldn't stop it. I try to fix some other stuff on the other platform, and it erased everything. So just a heads up, if you have a Streamlabs and you're signed off and you already made all your stuff there, I'm warning you, do not sign up. Do not sign in on no platforms on while you have everything set up there, because once you sign in, it's gonna erase everything completely. So I warned you. I warned you. Um, so let's continue. I think the music thing, we don't need to see that. That's in the way. Um, let's go ahead and fix this more. I'm gonna make this I'm gonna center it a little bit. I know you guys see all the black like background and everything like that, but it's until I fix everything up. I could stretch the screen, but you guys are not gonna see. I mean, that was the issue that I had also with the Streamlabs as well. I had it stretched, and you could barely see the what I'm looking at, on the web. So I'm gonna fix everything. I'm gonna have everything set up. This I had to do this on a fly yesterday before I went to sleep, and so I couldn't go to sleep properly, and then I had to go to the dentist and get some work, and I had a long day today. I had a long day, but thank you guys for holding on and bearing with me here. I hope you guys could see the everything clearly with no issues. So let's go ahead and continue with the stocks. And so we're gonna do a new screener. This is the platform that we use, Finviz. And so Finviz, it could, it's a free platform, but you could also have a subscription with them, and you could also what do you call that? Oh my God, let me take this off really quick. There you go. Okay, you guys can see it. Okay, so but you can also have a subscription, and it's gonna show you live scanning while the market is open and everything. But the downside of not that's a good side, but the downside of the free is that you're gonna have all your scanning delayed. So if there's a new stock that just popped up, you won't see it until like 3-4 minutes later. And if you need to make a quick decision, you're gonna be probably too late. And so those are things to keep in mind. That's why it's always good to, if you're gonna make decisions on trading, you're gonna have to like um get a platform, where you feel comfortable and especially, with the money, if you go forward it and everything, then good, go ahead, do that. But yeah, I use usually me, I use Weeble, and so everything is mostly free. The only thing is, I mean, if you're gonna trade, you're gonna have to use your own money, or you could use margin, however you feel. At the end of the day, it's your choice, however you want to trade. But in this case, we're gonna continue. And so the first thing we do is press screener, right? And right here is gonna show you just a little small amount of things to filter, but it's not. It doesn't show you the full thing. And so to see everything, you hit this tab right here, all, and now you can see everything that they have available to filter. And so right here, just like I've said in other streams, the first thing you want to focus on is the market cap. Why the market cap, or what is the market cap? Right here, if you hover your mouse right here next to the word, right, it says market capitalization, right? It says total market value of the company of outstanding shares, right? What that means, that's basic, simple, the total value of the company, period. That's simple as that. What the company is worth in the entirety of it, of everything. It doesn't matter if it has shares or what, or shareholders or whatever. Um, what's the total value of it? That's it, period. And so we want to focus on companies that are under $300 million. For some of you, $300 million is a big deal, right? For me, it's a big deal. $300 million. Now, for the market, that's a really small company. That's a really small company. And you can ask any stock trader, you could anybody on the stock exchange, they will tell you the same thing. That's a really small company. And so these companies are they're called micro caps. And so we like to focus on anything under 300 million. And so the next thing we want to focus is on the price. The price has to be either 1 or 1 to 20, any of those ranges. And so the good thing about this platform is that it shows you from 1 to 20. Maybe you can't see it in the stream, but if you go to Finviz, the website, you can see it clearly. And so those are the two things to pick. Then now if you hover over your mouse to the third column, then you're gonna see down here relative volume. Relative volume, it says here the ratio of current value compared to 3 months average adjusted intraday. Right, intraday is the time frame between the open of the of that stock, the opening of those stocks, or of the market, you could say, and the close of the market, not the pre-market, not the pre-market hours, not the after hours, just the market open to the market close. And so this is, so the relative value is the difference is the calculation of the current volume and the average volume over a period of time. It could be either weeks, months, or years, and so that's the relative volume. And so like me, I like to pick anything over 5, and so next thing to check is you hover over one more column, and then you go ahead and performance here. I like to see all stocks that are anything available that's up for the day. And then the next thing is current volume. And so current volume, I want to see anything over 1 million. That would be my preference. Anything over 1 million. And so the next thing I want to see also is the float. The float has to be under 10 million. And so the float is It says here the number of shares available for public trading does not include shares held by insiders. So what that means, so the company, right? They have their private owned shares, right? You normally, you know, the owners of the company or either and the employees of the company, they mostly have the publicly, not publicly, privately, private stocks of the company. They have private. Now they have, since they're open in the market, they have some shares that are, that they push to the market. It's now it's public. Now anybody could trade it. Anybody could buy, sell, and all that. And so based on that little bit amount of shares that they push to the public for them to trade and be a part of the of owning the company, then they could manipulate the price over that, and that's through the markets. The markets make the manipulation of the, not intentionally, but based on it, on what I just told you, the supply and demand, based on those two things, that's how you could see, you know um like the action of the stocks and everything like that. And so this right here is the supply, the float. And so this is the criteria right here. The next thing also is the industry. The industry will want to see only stocks, and that's pretty much it, guys. Like, this is all the filters that you need, to find these type of stocks. Now, there's many traders out there that have other different criterias, but this is what works for me. And so eventually you have to, like, do your due diligence and test this thing out, see if it works for you. If it doesn't work, then do like I did. I test many other people's trading styles, different type of things, and I input, certain things that I've learned from multiple traders, from my own experience as well. When I started trading at, when I was 24, you know and I mean, even back then, when I was 18, that's when I started getting involved, looking at the stocks, but not trading was after that, after, like, when I started, like, getting some decent money to save and stuff like that. That's when I started, getting involved into trading. But you have to have some little bit of money on the side that you could test trading, and you have to know what you're doing before you trade. Because if you go with your eyes closed into the market, you're just gonna, you're gonna lose all your money very quick. But this is everything in the short form here. And so the next thing, wow, we got a lot of stocks today to look at. But the first thing we want to see, we want to do is take all this information, like the name of the company, the numbers, and all this. I don't like to see none of this information because it's in my way. And so you press custom, and so I take off numbers, I take off company, sector, industry, country, market cap, P ratio, and I also take off this percentage change because the market is closed, just like I said. And I take that one off, and the only ones I'm gonna add is the relative volume and the shares float. Those are the only two extra ones that I'm gonna put there. And so here you got these amount of stocks that show up today. They at good prices. Everything is at a good price. The only one that went a little bit too high was SOGP, but everything looks good. Now the next thing we want to do is sort out the volume. We want to sort it out from high to lowest, because we want to only focus on the stocks that are the most traded ones, that have traded the most for the day. And so, wow, you got this stock that had traded almost a billion shares of volume. That's incredible. 722 million shares traded for this stock of volume. That's incredible. And so most likely we're gonna do all these, like, all these up to the six, because these right here, I have done them with you guys, but I have, just by experience, I already know these don't have a lot of activity. They don't have a lot of activity, and stocks that don't have a lot of activity, they don't get attracted by the buyers and the sellers and stuff, the traders. And so, um, but they still, relatively, they still above the prices, the relative volume, like that's pretty high, on all of them. This is more average. Five is more average. This one up here is more average, but we'll do all the way to 6 just to keep it short, and most likely most of these don't probably qualify, but we'll see. The first one, incredible stock, EVTV. We're gonna look at this one right now before we write him down on the list. EVTV, Envirotech Vehicles. Uh, we could see here that it had news about 13 hours ago. ASIO received 100 million worth of government purchases orders, advances 200 million regional pipeline and scalable US AI infrastructure expansion. This right here is like, oh my God. That's kind of like, that's the news that you just heard right there. It's a contract news. They have some new things they want to, start doing, with the company, and that's pretty much all you have to know, and, when you're talking about 100 million worth of government purchase orders, that's a lot of money, a lot of money. And so, here you got another news here, the same thing, and so that's when people got attracted to it, and they hopped on it very fast, you know, and right here you have a confirmation pullback right here at the beginning in pre-market. This was in pre-market. And so right here, as you can see, you could have got in right here on these candles. Let me see if you guys could see it. I want to make it more clear for you guys to see. So you got this candle right here. It broke out that resistance level. It broke out. And that right there, I call it the confirmation breakout, just because the candle closed above the breakout level. So it's confirming that it's a breakout. Now, the next thing this is my strategy. The next thing I would do is I get on the next candle. And so this candle went up to this little small candle that you see here. It went up to, it was a 16% candle, just one candle. And this is a 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, you made 16%. And this went on pre-market only. I'm not even counting the market open. On pre-market, it went all the way to 57%. 57%. That's incredible. Incredible. And so you could have took a an advantage there, right? You could have took advantage here on this confirmation breakout right here. See, you would have got on this candle. It went up another, let's see. Got in here, 13%, another 13%. So now you got about almost 30 something percent of profit between these two moments here. What happened here? You got another confirmation breakout here. Pullback, I'm sorry, confirmation pullback right here on this top. Then you put it there. Look at this one. You got a confirmation breakout and you could have got in here and it went up 17% on this candle. Did it 170? 13%. That's still good. That's still phenomenal. Phenomenal. So you could have got in there and that's nothing. The stock is not even, I mean, the day it just started, like the day was 10:30 at that time. You could have pulled in 3 wins there, 3 wins, 3 easy wins, and then you got another confirmation pullback here. And what do? We put it right on top of this point right there. What's the other opportunity there? So okay. So right here you got a little bit too extended right here, a little bit extended. We close right here, and that little space right there could have been a halt. That's why you have a bunch of halts here. This right here was, yeah, around 240, and it says, look, 239, a halt, volatility halt. So see those little spread, those little gaps that you see like that, those are spreads. If you look at them on a little small time frame, you could see them, a clear line like that, really small. It's a spread. It's not a spread, it's a volatility halt. So, you got to be careful with those because you get stuck there. Um, and so, I mean, if you would have got in somewhere around here on this same candle after the breakout, um, you would have got another 12%, or even if you waited for the confirmation breakout, you still could have got here and made at least 7%. So that's another win right there. This is not well, this is considered a confirmation breakout as well. Small one, very small one. I don't think you would have made some money on this one because you got the confirmation breakout. And then right here in the next candle, it just drops a little bit. So you would have got it out of there really fast. So you just took a little small loss there. But, this thing overall, it just expanded. You know, that's incredible. Incredible move. I mean, since the lowest point all the way to the highest point, that's the total of 699%. So you would have made 6 times your money. 6 times. Almost 7 times. Well, let's round it because it's 699. So 7 times, you would have made 7 times your money. You would have put $1,000 on this stock, you would have got $7,000 out of it. So that's how you make good money, doing these little things, knowing how to trade. And so just like I said before, this stock right here, it closed at a breakout. It closed at a breakout. Now it's too extended compared to the VWAP. It closed strong. That's why it continued to move higher. Now it's comparing this price point to the VWAP is too extended. So guess what happened? What has to happen right now? It has to have a little either small pullback or bigger pullback to bounce off these support levels. And not only this is a confirmation pullback as well. There's a confirmation. I see a confirmation pullback right here. So it has a bunch of confirmation pullbacks. Yeah, it has a bunch of confirmation pullbacks. Now the price has to this will be the support level here because you have all this over end support pushing this price up still. So if this goes down here and buyers are still, you know, um, they want to buy the stock, then they're gonna push that price back up and most likely double the high that it went from this point to this high point right here. So we could see that happen tomorrow. Maybe not at the open, but probably at the afternoon or something. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Even pre-market, it can happen. Depending, because you got some people right now that didn't trade today. They were probably did something else, and now they scanning the stocks in the afternoon or now at this point, like I'm doing, and they're looking at this stock and they say, "Oh my God, I missed this opportunity. Let me invest tomorrow." And it's not only one person; it's thousands of them thinking the same thing. So who knows? We don't know where this price is gonna go. Um, just by experience, I know that it's already extended. Versus where the VWAP line is. So it does have to like pull back to like readjust itself, or it has to consolidate at least a day um in order to make a pretty interesting move, and break out again. you know and so this is kind of what I live for. I love breakouts. I mean, you could have had plenty of opportunities there. Overall, you would have win some money. Period. And so that was a good one. This one we'll have it on watch, um, for analysis, but we'll write a description just to give you guys a rundown on how I do it, how I write things down. And so first thing I put, I mean, and everything, it doesn't have to be in the same order that I do. You could do it as at your own preference, but this is how I do it. So EVT, first of all, I check the price. Price is great still. Great price. Next thing I want to check, also the volume. Volume, amazing. Unusual volume. Unusual volume. The next thing I want to check is the float, the support. Float, very low float is at 4. So I put here low float. Next thing I want to check is the news. It had news. We already read it, so it had great news. Had great news. Contract. Oh, contract news. And so that's pretty good. And so let's check the daily, what it did on the daily. Now the daily overall is not amazing. It's not great. It's a terrible. Let me see. Let me keep going back. Terrible, terrible. A bunch of splits. Has a couple splits. Has a bunch of earnings here. I'm not sure if they're negative or positive, but it does have some earnings. But it does have some moments where it ran here and there. Um, and this is a first green day. Not only a first green day, it's a multi-month breakout. Has breaking all these months. The price right now is at this point where it closed. It closed at 251. So at this price is where it closed, and it's very near breaking out again at 261. Once it breaks out at that point, the next level to break will be 371 will be the next one. And then the next one will be after that would be at these highs right here at 507 will be the next one. So it still got a little bit of work to do, but anything's possible with this one. It just started. It's its first green day. It could have multiple green days, and it closed very strong. So it's not unlikely to see this stock move multiple days. So it had a similar day like this, but look what I'm saying. Just before it crashed down, it had multiple green days. So we could see something similar happen. Multiple green days, and then it just crashes. So this will keep on watch. Had history of running. Plan would be to wait for a pullback and test pullback, bounce, and test high of day for a possible breakout. So that's pretty much how I write everything down. And so let's go ahead and go to the next one so we won't spend too much time on this one. But it was an excellent stock. So the next one is BDSX. Has 75 million shares traded. Amazing 526 relative volume. Wow, incredible. So let's check this one again. Also BDSX. Biodexis. That's what it means. And so this one, it opened at a multi-day, but it went all the way to breaking out multiple months, but it didn't close at those these levels here. you got this over end resistance. All this is resistance here, and this is these little spots right here are resistance too, because you know you got these zones here that hold the price down as well. But the price hasn't gone up there yet, and this one had multiple splits as well, and a bunch of earnings too. So it's a first green day as well, and we'll see on the 5 minute how it did on the 5 minute. So it didn't do as the same as the other one, but it had its moments. Right here, this would have been a confirmation pullback. However, the highest point near it was this point right here. But you could put two of them just to confirm that it is pretty strong there. That this area between these two levels here are strong resistance. And so right here, if you would have used the bottom one first, you would have made a little profit there. 9%. It went up to 9%. But if you would have waited for another confirmation pullback, I think you would have lost here some money. Yeah, you would have lost a little bit of money there. Reset. Let's go back. Cause I click something there. Reset. What did I do there? I click something there, but I don't know what it was there. So that one is a high and the high as well. So you would have got a little profit there on this one, but you would have lost some money on this next one here. But overall, it gave back half of its gains, and it closed below the VWAP, so it's near the VWAP. So there's a possibility for this stock to test high day again. Everything depends if it attracts more people. So we'll keep a watch on that. Had 75 million volume. Let's see. On the daily, first green day didn't close strong. Closed very weak. Still consolidating off these pre-market highs. So this one is hard to figure out, because if you look at the past, we can see here. See, this one didn't close strong, and it crashed down. Let me see if I find other examples of a green candle being weak. See this one right here? Look, almost the same as the other one. Half week, the next day crashed. Look at this other one. Half again, and the other day just crashed. So I won't have it on the list. I'm not gonna trust it. It had all this. It had, if it wanted to do something, it would have hold above these support levels. And it couldn't do that. It couldn't do that. So that means the support, which is now a resistance level, is stronger. So are people holding that price down? And right here, if you see, let's see if there was some news on the 14 hours ago. Sees fourth quarter revenue. Okay, so it did have some earnings. That's why it's running, because it has some earnings. Preliminary quarter 4 revenue beats expectations. Okay, so it had a positive earnings. So it's positive. So it's good. That's good that the company had a positive earnings, and it's a second one in the row. So I guess they trying to keep this price up. Now, not sure on the 5 minute. It seems like it's still holding up halfway, but in its past, it just failed. So I won't keep it on watch unless it shows up tomorrow on the scanners, and then we could see the results that it had. But at this point, we're not gonna pay attention to that. Wow, look at this one, LVLU. Let's check that one. LVLU, LVLU. Wow, just like the other one too. Incredible. Look at this one. Incredible. See the lowest to the highest. It went 135%. That's magnificent. Not as great as 699%. But it's still good. You still would have made some good money here. And so right here, you got the confirmation pullback right here, multiple red candles together. And the highest point, between that highest candle and the other ones before it, right there. And then we will wait it for a confirmation breakout. This one will be the confirmation breakout, but everything depends on your tolerance, and what you're looking at the level 3. In the level 3, if it didn't show a lot of sellers, on the level 3, then you would take a, you would make a, what do you call that? You make a exit point where if the price hits that point, then you out of there. Just like me, I don't me my tolerance is 5%. Anything more than 5%, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I won't lose more than 5%. And most of the time I would want to lose less than 5%. Just 5% is the max that I could lose. But most of the time I get out way before that. So if you would have gotten this one right here after the confirmation breakout, let's see, did I close this one? That's 3%. And it went down all the way to 10%. So I would have panicked, right around 3%. I would have panicked and sell. But the good thing about stocks, I would have, you could still get back on the horse. That's the good thing about stocks. And so if you would have got in here on the confirmation breakout of this one, look, you would have got in here and you would have got your money back of your little loss that you had. 14%. It went all the way to 14%. Look at that. So you gotta have patience. You have to have patience to understand where the flow of the market is. And so the good thing is that with a cash account, you could get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. It's your own money, but still, I rather use my own money than use other people's money. And if I lose their money, then I owe them, and that you don't want to do that. It's like you go into the bank, right, and you tell the bank teller, oh, I want some money. Oh, for what you want the money? Oh, I'm going to invest it in the well, I'm not going to invest. I mean, if you tell them that you want to invest the money, that's already a high risk. But if you tell them, oh, I'm going to buy a home or real estate or whatever, right, and let's say they gave you the money and you go ahead and take that money and you used it for something else, then and or wasted, or somebody jumped at you and took your money or whatever, then that's not going to take the fact that you still owe that bank money. So that's the same thing when you open up a margin account, especially if you don't know what you're doing. There's a lot of things that could happen with borrowed money, bad things, especially if you go short. If you go short on a stock, you have unlimited losses. That's why these companies, certain stocking companies, they close your trade very fast once it hits a certain point, because they know you're not going to be able to pay them a couple $1 million. They know for sure. In your lifetime, especially if you're an average person and I mean, your budget, is not as great as millionaires and stuff like that. You're gonna spend the rest of your life paying that debt. Most likely is gonna go to collections or something. So you gotta be careful. How if you know what you're doing, then go ahead. You know You could, I mean, I've seen many people make money with margin accounts, but they know what they're doing. Some people don't know. The majority don't know, and so it has been already proven that almost 90% of people lose in the market. And so that's a bad thing. And so look, you could have made at the breakout, you could have made money at the breakout, you could have made money right at the support level, the previous support level. Look, it bounced and went back up. So that's a good move there, you know. And it's still near highs of that price point here. So those are good moves there. I hope you guys could hear me clearly. There's no I hope there's no other issues. Most likely I'm gonna have to like rewatch this stream to see what went wrong and stuff like that. But thank you guys for sticking out with me and bearing with me. I'm almost done. I'm gonna go through these stocks here. I'm gonna do another one. Probably the number 6. This one, S dot. I'm not gonna do this one. It's like 30 cents or something. It went up to 30 cents. And it's already multiple green days together. So no, I'm not gonna look at this. But I'm gonna look at OPTX, which is the next one after the LVLU. And so LVLU is still strong, and it's near the support level and near the VWAP level. So we'll keep on watch on that one for the next day. So still good price. Volume still good. 22 million volume. Still good. Low float. A very low float. Low float. In the news, it says Lulu Fashion shares jump after Freeland Enterprises discloses 5% stake. So that was kind of the news of this stock. Not interesting. Yeah, nothing interesting. That news is not gonna make me want to make a decision. I can only make the decision based on the price action. And sometimes also, people on social media also what do you call that, hype up the stock. They might say other stuff about the stock, so we might see something happen there. So no interesting news. No interesting news. And the daily, let's see the daily. So you see it has multiple green days, and that's not good to see. Just like the other stock that I just show you guys that I was gonna check. So this is almost at the tail end of the move. I wouldn't be surprised if the stock start dropping eventually. Multiple green days. Multiple consecutive green days. And all this, remember guys, on the Discord, you get all this. I'm gonna post all this on the Discord. So you're not missing anything. Sometimes if you don't want to like go back to the video and rewatch this, you could go to the Discord and see everything that I wrote down. All this information that I pasted it over there. So you're not missing anything. And so here I had good price, volume good, a very low float, not interesting news, has multiple consecutive green days, um, um, still close, still close, a little strong. We'll keep watch since price is in between support level and VWAP. So we got those two, LV, not LU, LVLU. Yeah, because later I don't want to have an issue where I can't find this stock. And so, yeah, we got those two there. And so the next one will be OPTX. OPTX didn't close strong today, so it's going to be a very short one. OPTX. So OPTX is a red day. It's already at its almost at its end. You know, it had multiple green days here. You know, had a big move afterwards. The screen, it squeezed a little bit there. You know, but it's already at its end. And we had mark here resistance. So we had talked about this a couple weeks ago. So look, it was able to break out after we had talked about it. You know, so everything that I'm giving you guys here is like it's like gold. So whoever's taking advantage of this, or whoever eventually in the future you get to whoever that is looking to learn stocks and for some reason finds me, they're very lucky, because not a lot of people are giving this type of information for free. So take advantage, what you guys can. This I won't monetize none of this. This is all free. This is something that I've learned for the past 10 years. I've all this I've worked very hard to know. And so that's pretty much it. This one is not as strong, so I won't pay attention of it. So, you know, I won't have it on the list either. So we have those two stocks there to check to analyze for tomorrow to see if they really moved. And so give me 1 second, guys, really quick. I gotta talk to my wife really quick. I'm gonna put everything on a little hold here. The Be Right Back background, it doesn't have any music because I don't want to have that beeping sound that it had at the beginning. So just bear with me for a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. Just had to have a quick talk with my wife, and so let's go back to the little bit of stocks that we have. Well, we already talked about these stocks already, so those are the two that I'm gonna put on the Discord. And so the next thing that we're gonna check is the crypto. Let's go ahead and do that right now. And so uh, let's leave that there, and let's see what we have on crypto. So we have a little bit, to look at. Only four of them, so well, five. But we'll check these really quick because I gotta I have some things to do after the video and stuff like that. So hopefully this pretty much pique your interest and help you guys on your journey to learn about the stocks and everything. So hopefully you guys heard the whole stream and there's no issues, because I'm gonna be very pissed if I did the whole stream with no audio. But let's go ahead and check Blackwell. That's the first one. Crypto. and this one right here. So let's check really quick. We're back. We're back. And so let's go ahead and so this is a stock that we had marked before, and so just like I said, look what happened on the weekend. It break those levels. It couldn't maintain those levels of this uptrend support, and once it broke down, guess what it did? It just came crashing down. That's why sometimes it's good also to mark these lines here just to keep it as a guide, you know. But these are things that you will learn. You won't learn in one day. It'll take you some time to understand a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of how I see it. So this one is out of the list. Um, Out of the list here. So DG RAM. Let's see. DG RAM. DG RAM. Hmm. So this one. So this was a good. It had a good run, but it only run for like what 3 days. That was it. After that, it just came crashing down. It gave back all of its gains. So this one is a goner. It's not moving anymore. So it's when you see it running, you normally you will see it running like at the beginning of when the other day starts. You know, that's how people like usually trade these. They wait for the next following date of when this starts. Normally it starts. Well, this one started at the end, so it continued to the next day. This one did the same thing, did the same move. This was about the same move. So you have to, you gotta catch them right on time. So if you see them over here and you see this type of move here, you put in your downtrending resistance lines and see if it's gonna turn around or not. You could put them here, at the highest point, which is over here. This is the highest point of the day. So you take the highest point of this whole entire day and the highest point of the next day. Let's say you saw the stock right here around this area, and that point was the highest point. So you mark a line there and see if it's going to turn around. If the price breaks out, confirms breakout on this line, then it's going to keep going. you know that's kind of how you read them. And this is a downtrending resistance line here. There's other terms that other people mention, but this is how I put it together. This is the easiest way for me to run down these, name these. And so also, like, the way you put the uptrending support levels, right, is you take the lowest point of that day versus the lowest point of this day, the next day, and then you mark out a big line here, right, for a couple of days or whatever, and then you close it so you don't, you close these so you don't they don't move while you're moving the screen. And so throughout this whole line, you had this whole entire move, which was excellent. And once it broke down these levels, it just came crashing down. So this is not is there's no survival on this one. This one is done for. So Mubaraka is the next one. Mubaraka. Mubaraka. That's the one. And so as you can see, uh one day, it only run one day and a quarter of the next day. That's it, and then it just gave back all of its gains. So you had to take advantage of these moments like this. Only if you would have seen the stock like there, somewhere around there. You had to look at it. Keep paying attention to it. see if it's gonna move up. And so you gotta understand candlesticks, trend lines, and how the stock move. And this is not this, I'm only showing you guys just the charting met, methods and everything. But you have to analyze the news. If these have news, why did it move, and stuff like that. So, um, those are the things you have to pay attention. You just can't only trade the chart. Like you could do that. There's people that I've seen that made money doing that, but everything at the end of the day is your own way of doing it. Like Fausto Puglisi, he doesn't check the news. He trades the charts based on the level 3 and the level 4. He makes his decisions. Well, now he doesn't make this decision based on that. There's other things behind it, but the news is not the main thing. You know, he would check on the news, but it's not the main thing. But shout out to him. He based on thanks to him, I got to understand a little bit more about the well, I had a big amount of knowledge on the level 2, level 3, level 4, which is very important to market. That's how you understand where the buyers is at and where the sellers are at located. And the buyers, the more they are, and if they're pending and the price is coming down at near that point, then there could be a point where all those orders pull through, and if that happens, then the price is gonna go up, most likely, you know. But if sellers end up selling of all of those shares at those points, then most likely it's the price is gonna continue to go down, But those are things to learn, you know, where the buyers and where the sellers are at, and see where the price has an opportunity to turn around, you know. You could take advantage either way, shorting or going long, So it was not good either. Um, well, it had a good move. It just gave back after that. After that move, it just gave back all of its gains. The next one is Fizz. Fizz. So Fizz had a good move. Right now, it looks like it looking to break out again. So stuff like this is good to see as well. It didn't give up. It's now running again once more. So these are the breakout lines here. It has to break out here in order for me to gain interest in on it, But it seems like it's running again. So stuff like this is good to watch. We'll keep this one on watch. We'll keep this one on watch. And today is the 12th. Damn, my teeth hurt so bad, and it's because of dentist work that they did on me. It's like, it didn't work when they were doing it, but now it's hurting me. Because it's the temperature and all that stuff, like the breeze and all that is hitting me, so it's hurting my teeth. Hopefully I could like pull through. I no longer have none of this like swollen and stuff. I had the cheek very, very swollen when I got out of the dentist. So thank God that went away. And so the next thing to check, looking to break out. Keep watch. And so got that. And swap is the next one and the last one that we had written down. So let's check swap really quick. Thank you guys for hanging out with me over here and showing support. I appreciate it, you guys. And whatever question that you guys have, don't forget to hit the comment section and everything, and just write whatever questions. I'll do my best to answer them, and the comment section as well. So let's go. So this one we had marked here is still consolidating around those points here. Not sure if it's gonna bounce. It looks like it's 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 keen around these support levels here. You know, support is pushing this price up, so this might turn around and test these highs again. So we'll have to keep a watch on it. So we'll keep this one on watch as well. 6 p.m. Keep watch. So we got that going right here. Hold on a second, guys. Alrighty, guys. We're back, and so let's go ahead and scan the new crypto really quick. The new crypto, and so when you get on the Coin Market Cap, this is the Coin Market Cap app. Um, no, that's fine. There we go. Alrighty, guys, we're back. It's just my wife is trying to order something online and uh couldn't figure it out right now. But once I'm done with the stream, I'll go get help her out with that stuff. But we're almost done, guys. We're only gonna scan here. I'm gonna show you guys how to scan, and I'm gonna write down some of the cryptos that I see that they're moving. But after that, then we're pretty much done for the day. Bear with me, guys. It's hour 30. I know it's normally I take about an hour 20 or something like that. So we're almost done. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me here. And so this is the main site right here, Coin Market Cap. And so Coin Market Cap, if you don't see this screen, hit the title, and after that you could go ahead and see the filters thing here to filter out what you want to see. And so right after you click that, then you will see this box here. And just like I said with the stocks, you want to focus on the market cap. The market cap, um, it has to be for the crypto. It has to be for 1 million to 10 million. That's all we want to. We don't want to see not even 300 million. Only 1 to 10 million. With the volume, which is the demand, you want to see 1 million to 100 million. And then you have the percentage change right here from 10%. You know what? Let's do 20%. 20% to 500%. Because that's my preference usually. That's the only ones I want to see. And so as you can see here, we got, well, you know what? Let me go back to the filter and put 10% and see if it changes. A little bit more, but not much. It only show these right here. But those are the only two. So we'll do 20%. So we got two, so that's good. We don't have a lot to look at. So U is the first one. U. And let's check the crypto. Well, I guess it's not. No. U arrow HT. Nope. This is not the one. I guess this one is not being traded often. Not looking good. Nope. Let's see on the Coin Market Cap app and see if we see what we see. Also, another thing, when you're looking at the Coin Market Cap, don't click after you do your filter, don't click at the crypto, because after that, it's gonna, if you want to come back and see the other ones, it's just gonna reset everything. You have to filter back again. So pay attention to that. And so you open up a new tab, and it looks like it's just starting to ramp up. This one is good to watch. Keep paying attention. It did had a move before that, So this is the back end of the move, but it's running right now. So it will be a good thing to. Oh, well, not really. I won't pay attention to it. After that big move right there, it gave back all of its gains and it's trying to run again. But I don't think it's gonna hold enough because you got all this overhead resistance here. See, all this whole line right here is overhead resistance. So it's about to hold. It is about to test these resistance levels very soon. So no, this one I'm not gonna add it to the list. The next one is a switchboard protocol. So I guess we there's no activity right now going on. This one it seems like another one that's not doing that right there is not good news either. You don't want to see a stock. Well, this is a good move, but this move right here, there's no fluctuation going around. You don't see a lot of swings happening here. We'll check here at the trading thing here. SWTCH. SWTCH. And we'll do crypto right here. And so as you can see, look what's happening. That up and down zigzagging, very small, very tight to each other. There's no buying selling at that point. Very small amounts, and that's not moving the price up. And so in order to make some profit here, you would want to see these type of moves, you know, on a certain amount of times, not this type of consolidation, So that's not good to see. So yeah, so pretty much we don't have nothing right now. Zero, zero for crypto. The only ones is Fizz and Swap to check once more. And I'll add these back to the Discord, and I would add some information stating that this thing there was no new crypto going on. So we have to keep a watch on these and analyze them more. So yeah, so crypto pretty much it, there's nothing else to see for the crypto. I hope you guys like the stream and everything. I know I apologize if you guys had a bad hearing experience at the beginning because there was some like I could hear it. I was hearing it for a minute, like the ring of the music. It was very like super screechy. And I'm not sure right now. Right after this stream, I'm gonna have to check the video and see how it's sound on your end. And so have to figure out because OBS, I've never used OBS to stream. This is the first time that I use OBS, and I have some things set up right, but when it came to the music and stuff, it's always coming down. It's bad. It's terrible. So, but nothing. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Today was another good episode. We had a good time on the weekend, doing the Lego Star Wars. I hope you guys enjoy that as well. Don't forget to hit the comments if you have any questions. On my description, there's gonna be a ton of different social media platforms that you guys could like support and join and follow or or subscribe if we in YouTube. So you guys could do that as well to help me with the stream. I do a lot of posting on the X platform as well, so you guys could go over there and show support there too. So sorry about that, but yeah, we had a good stream today. So that's pretty much it, guys. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, the follow, and show support to other streamers as well. Let me see if we could raid someone, since I see like four watching right now. Let me see. I could I've never done this before. Let's see who can we raid. Let's see. Raid. And I guess you have to do is copy paste the URL and stuff like that. Let's see who's online right now. You got plenty of people here. Ryu, Muramasa, you have Vaping Gamers, really good streamer. Jorba. Jorba has 3 here, so I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys to him so you guys could show support to Jorba 4. So let's go ahead and grab his stuff. I guess this is how you do it. Let me see. Hopefully that works. So let's see. Raid. Let's see. Failed to start. I guess we messed up. I think it's I think it's in his chat. I'm gonna have to figure that. I'm gonna figure that out next time because I don't want to make a mistake. So I'm gonna have to figure that out eventually, guys. So, anyways, I already mentioned him of Jorba 4. You guys could go to his stuff. He got some good stuff right now. I guess he's doing Arc Raiders. So I hope you guys show support over there. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys have a nice good night, and take it easy, be safe, and that was it. All right. Have a good night.